Welcome to Straight Shooting Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Dujane Bland. Well, the NASCAR weekend got kicked off quite well. Had a great nationwide race until the end of the race. We have this big crash involving Kyle Larson and his number 32 car as it spins around, gets airborne, and just shreds to pieces as it hits the fence. Parts and pieces are flying everywhere. Parts are flying into the stands, injuring 33 people. People are looking around and possibly wondering what NASCAR can do to fix this problem. And when you look at what happened, you're talking about cars going in upwards of 200 miles an hour, all packed together. And when a car gets turned around and is now going in a backwards motion, air's getting under that car, it's going to lift right up into the air and become airborne. I think he just hit that fence in a bad spot. Maybe NASCAR can start moving the stands back a little bit, but there is a real nice safety buffer there. And regardless, when you think about what happened, that tire went 10 rows into the stands. So no matter how far you have it back, I mean, you really have to get it back pretty far to not have anyone affected. And we have to remember it is part of racing. And as much as drivers don't want to see fans hurt, it's just one of those things when you go to these type of events, dealing with this type of horsepower, that type of speed, and the risk of having crashes is that we're going to have debris that could possibly go into the stands. The NASCAR should be very well commended for their response as they responded to the ones that were injured. I thought it was in a timely manner. They handled everything right to the T. Even the drivers, the way that whole thing went down, it was just a stand-up job by NASCAR. Changes that can be made, I don't really think you can do anything to change it. If you look at the fencing, they have cable there along with the chain link fence. And like I said, with that speed, you're going to have a car coming into a chain link fence. It's like cheese to a cheese grater. It's going to get shredded apart. And unfortunately, these type of things happen. And we just have to remember that, this is the risk we take when we go to these types of events. But hey, it looks like it's going to be one heck of a season, and it's just a good thing that no one got hurt in this particular crash involving the fans. Well, in other racing news, in the NHRA last week in Pamona was a great race, and the champ, Antron Brown, goes through a horrific crash, blows the tires off of it at 300 miles an hour, and crashes into the wall, on fire all the way to the sand trap. Very unfortunate accident, but the canopy was able to help keep this driver protected. Now, when the canopy was first introduced in August of 2012, there was a lot of people who really were unsure about whether they should allow this to happen, whether the NHRA should allow the Schumacher team, to put these canopies on these cars. What was very evident was that they felt that it was going to be a competition advantage for the Schumacher team. Well, as we can see from this crash, there's nothing but great things that can happen if others choose to go in the canopy route, which there is one other car out there that does have that, and that would be the John Force car driven by Brittany Force. Now, there was no fire, and this is all out of Antron Brown's mouth. No fire. There was no debris that was able to get to him. And if you were able to watch the coverage, Safety Safari came right over, was able to get him right out of the car, no problem. And he was unscathed, just a few bumps and bruises. And that's what we like to see. Tony Schumacher had made this statement before they had let them do the canopies in competition for testing. He made this statement, and I quote, "The fact is, I feel safer under it. When I sit in the car with the canopy, I have a level of comfort that I haven't had in a long time. Every driver should have that feeling. I've lost some good friends out here and don't want to lose any more." And isn't that true? I mean, we are all fans of going fast and these cars really, really, really getting after it. But we want to keep these guys safe. And for those who didn't believe in the canopy and maybe were a little bit ornery about the fact that it was the Schumacher team that was going forward with this, we can see that from that accident, that this is the best choice for NHRA, and that racers should have this choice to have this canopy so they can be safe. Well, again, we thank you for tuning into our show. Please leave comments, talk with us, chat with us. We'll get back to you on our YouTube channel. If you have any questions or any topics you'd like to see discussed on this show, send us an email to straightshootingst@gmail.com. And as always, subscribe to the show. This has been another episode of Straight Shooting Sports Talk.